So what we're going to do today is we're going to frame out this window that I want to put in right here. These are just Home Depot windows that I got, double hung windows, and they're called pocket inserts. So the difference is on something like this, that this is really considered a new construction, but it was never framed out. And the reason why I didn't get windows in this is that I saved maybe close to $1,000 by doing this myself. And they're not that hard to do. The only difference is I won't have the casing that usually surrounds your window when you have a pre-existing home like your house or something that you're just getting replacements. So these windows are usually used just for replacements. You can get them to where they have on the outside, you could just screw them in. I didn't find any I like. Usually those are like storm windows, and I really wanted like a residential quality window in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to frame this out, but as you see, this window right here, that's how big it's going to be that I need to put in. And if you look at how it's already, where it's going to be placed, you have some studs that are already in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'll actually remove these studs because I want to reuse these, and I have other wood down here that I could use for like the supports on the bottom and stuff like that. So what I'll probably do is just take both of these studs out here. So this stud just has to move over just a little bit. If my window was a little bit smaller, I would have been able to reuse that and just fit it in between maybe some studs and realign it that way. But the way this type of window is just a little bit bigger. So actually this stud's going to come out, and it'll probably move, about right here or so. And then this one, I could just cut it at the bottom to where I'll run the bottom support. But I think I'm just going to take this one out too and just reuse this wood for something else. Because once you cut it, you have to readjust it. So I'm probably just going to try to pry these two out and get them out. This will actually stay. And what will happen is this will be my main stud support. On this side, I'll move this over, it'll be my main stud support. And then I'm going to take some jacks and put them here and here, and this will actually support the header that I'll put up in at the very top. And then on the bottom, we'll have some supports that will support the bottom. You'll run a 2x4 across the bottom, and that should be about it. And you just slide it. Alright, I just want to show you what I cut real quick. I went ahead and cut the wood out. I had the measurements from the other side, so sometimes that's risky because if it doesn't line up, you don't cut it exactly right, or however you put it into the wall, you might be off a little bit. But I really wanted to show you how to do this and what pieces you needed before I started putting it up. So that's why I did that, and it being, I could adjust. However, that's why I went ahead and did it. But the most important thing is this middle right here. So if you see in the middle, as long as that is wide enough, they recommend about a ½ inch on each side, all the way around, to be able to adjust your window. I'm probably not, a ½ inch. I might be a $1/4 inch on each side. So, but that's okay. I'll have enough room. But if you notice, I want to start from the bottom here. So what we did is we first did our supports right there for the bottom window. So if you look, there's 3 supports right there, and then there's this is the bottom where it's going to sit. So I have those 3 pieces, and then if you look, so there's those right there, 1, 2, and 3, and then you have where the window's going to sit. And then if you have right here, the next one over, I got a shaky finger, don't I? The next one over, if you follow it all the way up, it's actually going to be what's going to hold our header right there, which I have my header upside. It should be vertical right there, but I accidentally put it like that just for this purpose. But anyway, see where it stops. It's going to hold that. I believe those are called jacks. If you see, that one's going to run all the way down to here. And then of course you got your main, right there, the last one, you got your main stud that's going to go all the way up. and that's what's gonna go up against the beams that are running across. And then what I'm not showing is in the middle right here, you're gonna have a support like right there. You could probably do 3 if you want. 2 is probably enough. Just 1 there and 1 there that runs up to the top beam right there. So anyway, that's what it is. So in just a second, I'm gonna take that and put it right there, and we will be in business for our window. Got our window framed out, went ahead and got everything in place. So now we want to dry fit the window to make sure everything's okay. We want to measure, make sure everything looks good and we're good to go before we start cutting. So here's our window right here. Let me pull it over here so we can see it. Alright, so here's our window. We could measure it and then measure the insert and all that, but that'll take time. So what we want to do is lift it up, slide it in there, and as you can see, there's room along the edge so that we can have space to put some shims in and make sure it's level. But yeah, everything looks good. So we'll come back and cut the hole out later and put this in. But all right, here we go. We're going to cut out our first window and try to put it in and install it. So I went and got a longer blade for the Sawzall, and so it'll cut through. Hopefully we'll use this as a guide, and it'll be nice and easy. And we'll punch on through and put this window in. I did have a couple of issues that bounces around a lot of the Sawzall, so the cut's not that great, but it doesn't matter because we're going to put trim around it as long as we have a hole that's big enough for the window. Alright, we're going to put the window in now. I'm going to use these shims. I doubled them up kind of like this, and to where we're going to put it down here, and that way when we put the window in, we'll have room up under there, to kind of move it around or and put our seal in just a little bit. So go ahead and do that. Alright, everything's still level, so I haven't totally put it in, but you can see the window goes up and down okay. That's two. So what I want to do now is I'm going to come back and we got my screws in here and down there, but I want to go ahead and put some shims in here. And that way the window doesn't have any play or nothing. So all we're going to do is just build that up. So you have all this extra space right here in the window, and you don't want that. So we'll just kind of wedge this in there and get us some shims and unscrew those and screw them back in with the shims right here. That's it. I'll go in and make sure it closes. Works good. And then we'll go in and we'll break off these shims. And then I have my great stuff that I'll spray around it, and we're good to go. Alright, I wanted to show you about this house wrap, Protecto wrap. I'm going to take this, and since I have such big gaps around the window, I want to take this wrap and barely put it on the window and then overlap it onto the siding over here. What I'm going to do is I have my trim I'm going to put up, and so it'll cover this, but this will at least keep the water out. So that's what I'm going to do right now. With this. Now the stuff is really sticky, so it'll get on your hands. You got to make sure when you pull this back and stick it that you're ready to go, and don't try to get your fingers all in there too much. So I have my window ready to go. I had put the Protecto wrap around it. I mainly wanted to see if it was gonna get water inside. It did rain the last 2 days and I haven't had any water leaking in, so I'm very happy about that. I've already pre-cut my wood, my trim around it. I'm doing a Craftsman style trim on the outside. On the inside, I do have my 45-degree angles where the edges come together clean and all that, but I didn't want to do that for the whole shed because I wanted it to kind of be consistent and still have that Craftsman look. So today what we'll do is we'll go in and we will put our silicone and we'll nail it in and put our caulk in and hopefully get these windows finished out. I do have to still build the sill for it. I don't have that, but I'm just going to kind of get a piece of wood and angle it, and so I'll do that at a later time. But let's go put some trim around our windows.